Saturday night hoops in the nation's capital. The Wizards welcoming the visiting Sacramento Kings, one of the toughest teams in the Western Conference. DC took the matchup back in December, but tonight, not so much in their fortune. Final score 132-118. Kyle Kuzma had 20 in the first half, finished with 33 on the night to lead the Wizards in scoring. Bradley Beal also had 20 to go along with Mr. Kuzma's performance, albeit, as I just said, in a loss to the Wizards. Now they are 32-39 on the season. Welcome into Wizards Postgame Live with the Coach Jimmy Patsos. I am Wes Hall. Chris, Drew, and Megan will be joining us momentarily. Coach, I really am trying to decide on how I want to begin with this one. Obviously, we can jump into the box score. We can talk about the implications on the playoff push right now. But first of all, let's just get into the bag of what we saw today. And what do you think was the biggest difference between this matchup tonight against Sacramento versus how we saw them on December 23rd?
Sacramento shot the ball well. I mean, they shot 22. They made 22 three-pointers. That's a lot of three-pointers to make, and a lot of different people made them. The Wizards got to go back, decide what they want to do, which is get a little rest, go to Orlando, and you have to win that game if we're talking about the playoff push. Orlando beat the Clippers tonight. You know, everybody's starting to move in. They got Paolo Banchero, the number 1 draft pick. Well, what are we going to do? Yes, we need Porzingis back. We need a couple. I liked Xavier Cooks. I knew him. Pat Kelsey, the guy who had Charleston and all that, they were a big hot story this year. That was his coach at Winthrop. I know who Xavier Cooks is. I didn't think he got that good. He's gotten much better. How are we going to work him in the rotation? We just need a little added boost. But Sacramento had our number tonight, and they remembered December 23rd. Kuzma twisting his ankle, that didn't help either, you know.
Right.
Thought Monte was fine. But I want to get real deal Beal going on. I'm running sets for Bradley Beal against Orlando. I want to get him going early. I want them to have to guard him, so if he kicks out, we make some threes. And Denny, I don't know if you start him to jumpstart him or whatever, but like, we're not that far away, fellas, but we got to play a little better basketball.
Yeah.
We lost to a really good team tonight. They had our number. We got them. They got us back. We took the split. We didn't go 0-2. We wanted 2-0. But we got to go to the Magic and be prepared to play.
Yeah.
We got to go down the Magic. This isn't a Magic team that's tanking. The Pistons are tanking, the Rockets and the Spurs. I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't know out there. Hornets had some injuries. The Magic are moving out of that group. They're right on our tail. Got to catch the Pacers. We have another game in hand with the Bulls. But we got to beat the Magic, and we're better than we just played today, and we need KP back.
Coach, something I noticed, point paints, Wizards only lost that by 8, obviously. Sacramento, even though they were shooting great from outside, able to do the work inside. But I want to look at the bench points for Washington. Outscored 51-38.
It's a big number.
That's why I mentioned that.
But that's
number.
Corey Kispert had to start. See, it's a double-edged sword. KP's out. Corey Kispert, who's been playing really well off the bench, had to start. Can Denny step it up to Lon Wright? This is where Xavier Cooks can come in. What are you going to do? Johnny Davis, they're force-feeding him minutes to find out where he is, not only for next year, but can Johnny Davis give that added push? I actually like that play. Yeah. I want to see Johnny Davis play. It's not going to be. He had 10, then he had 6 tonight. This is how it's going to go. We're learning, but we have some games to win. We got a lot to fight for, and we're fine. We need KP back, but let's go beat the Magic, then we're back in the hunt.
How do we get more productivity out of the second half, and most in particular, second half from guys scoring? Because Brad gave you plus 15 in the second half, Kuzma gave you plus 13 in the second half, but everybody else, plus 5 out of Corey Kispert, and nobody higher than that, plus 2, plus 2, plus 4. How do we get the entire team to be able to have a strong, consistent second half? We know the big three are going to do their thing.
Well, yeah, and the big three wasn't there because Porzingis. Drew had mentioned that Porzingis draws you out. He opens it up for Gafford. He also can go by you, but he takes a lot of pressure off the defense because he can shoot threes deep. Doesn't need a lot of room to get him off because he's so tall.
Right.
So you're talking about freeing up other guys. That's why Corey Kispert was going backdoor. Remember, that was Porzingis throwing him the backdoor pass.
True.
Like, he's a good passer up there, but we didn't have him tonight. Who's going to adjust? I really want to see Denny. Come on, Denny, we need you.
Yeah.
Come on, Denny, you're a good player. You played great this summer. I know you're young. And I totally believe in you, and you've been good defensively, but you're a better offensive player than that. It wasn't just a missed dunk. Like, Denny Avdija is a really good player. He's 9th pick in the draft. We need you down these next 10 or 11 games. Critical time for you to play well for us because we have Corey playing well. DeLon's been great. I'm a big DeLon guy. You're the missing guy. Not saying anything's wrong, but Denny, come on, Denny. We need you down the stretch.
Yeah. He gave you 3 points, but he did give you 11 rebounds and 6 dimes tonight. So even though the score wasn't happening.
Well, yeah, I meant
I know what you mean. No. And
Denny's always been doing that stuff. I'm just saying.
I just wanted to paint the picture for everybody that it was absolutely, you're absolutely correct.
Big Denny fan on all that stuff, but on the points thing, you asked me why we got outscored. we need someone else to score.
I'm going to say, what is the final score is all about the points that you score, and you're absolutely right, Coach. We need him. I want Chris and Drew to join us real quick on this conversation as well. Guys, great call. As usual, I'm just curious about tonight, obviously ramifications, looking down the road, et cetera. Drew, starting with you first. We know Sacramento could shoot the three ball. What was not working for Washington tonight, and how do they possibly turn it around for the next matchup?
Defensive scheme. You always come into a season with a defensive philosophy, your system on the offensive end and the defensive end. But every night and throughout the course of the game, that adjustment, that philosophy changes. You have to adjust to what's hurting you. And tonight was a three-point shot. And, if you're going to be a team that packs the paint and not allow paint points, then be it. But if you're going to be the team to do that and try to guard the three, you have to have multiple efforts now. That's what separates a team that are bottom of the barrel defensive teams and to top 5 defensive teams, because they can do both. They can guard the drive and they can guard the kick out and get the shooters on the catch. That is key. It's one thing letting a guy catch the ball and then shoot to contest. This team is too good. These guys, Keegan Murray, that's Klay Thompson 2.0. If he catches the ball, you're done. So guys like Kispert guarding him tonight, your help responsibility is not the paint for twos. It's staying on him where he cannot catch the ball.
It's very rare I see a stat sheet where 3 players had 5 three-pointers made. Keegan Murray had 5, Terrence Davis had 5, and Malik Monk had 5. They shot 60% from 3. And I'm watching the Wizards go zone late into the game where they've already hit 23s. And that's why I looked at Drew. We had to go to a commercial. Zone is normally to allow people to shoot threes. Well, Sacramento, that's all they did tonight.
Well, yeah, also to junk it up. You're playing man to try to, solidify your man-on-man defense, but still getting up threes. You got to do something.
Well, you kept illustrating during the game. Guys are getting corner 3 wide open looks.
Yeah, so I thought maybe that was a good idea to go 2-3, because now you have 2 guys on the bottom of the defense and that 2-3, 3 guys on that back line guarding the corners now. So I think Wes tried to alleviate those open threes in the corner, but still, where were the threes coming from? It wasn't coming in the corners no more. It went up to the slots. So this team is geared, and this is a Western Conference team that's up and down. They love to score the ball, high-octane offense. Mike Brown has showed you tonight that he was not
First
in
of all,
Golden State.
He's unanimous coach of
the year. But he did not sit over there in Golden State and not learn anything. Yeah. He went over there and literally, this is a carbon copy philosophy on the offensive end right out of Steve Kerr's book. And you can see it in real time tonight in this arena.
Guys, to your point, when you talk about that grit and grind and kind of, focused, unrelenting attitude tonight, I have to really tip my hat to Kyle Kuzma tonight, because we saw him roll his ankle not even a minute and 10 seconds into the game. And I'm not going to lie, as soon as I saw it happen, I go, oh, no. But Kyle decides to come back in the game, puts up 20 points in the first half, finishes the night with 33, and, oh, by the way, starts knocking down threes, 4 for 7 from there, 5 for 6 from the charity stripe tonight. What grade do you give him, starting with you, Chris, on his ability to stay in this game when most people on any other given night would have said, can't go, coach, ankle's kind of messed up?
He gets an A+++ in terms of I'm coming out here to help my teammates. Because like you said, I'm not going to name names, but there's some people that would have probably tapped out and be like, I see y'all in Orlando. So for that, I give him a lot of credit. And to come out and score, and that play right there solidified me. Stamp Kyle Kuzma, who had an injured ankle and going to do a chase down block. So from that perspective, I tip my hat for him to go out here and try to gut it out for his teammates.
Yeah, it ain't no such thing as an A++++, but you know what? I'm gonna give him an A+. And the plus is because he could afford it. And I'm not giving him an A+ because he had 30 points. I'm giving an A+ because he competed tonight on one leg. I don't care if he had 13 points. He's going to get an A+ from me because he tried, he competed. No Porzingis. He didn't want to let his team down. And going to the back does something to a player when you get hurt, especially when you know what's on the line for your season. And not only for your season, for you as an individual. This is a big year for Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
So he needs to recreate that narrative. He is a champion already, so he has to live by that standard, and tonight he did that.
Coach, what does it say to you when you're sitting there, you see your man go down in the tunnel, and you're like, I don't know, and then all of a sudden sudden you see your man come out of the tunnel.
I'm older. This is where the Willis. People forgetting the Willis Reed
Willis
thing, Miller.
Reed.
That he only played 1 minute, but the fact that he came out of the tunnel makes everyone on the team feel good. Drew, I got to get with. People forget, Drew, you didn't play that long ago. 2007, the Spurs only scored 100 once in the finals, right? You're watching a guy, Mike Brown, and you were in those finals in 2007. I believe you were like 15-7. You had 15-8. You had good numbers.
I had unbelievable numbers. I averaged a double-double that series, but go on.
No, see, I told you, Drew, to watch this team not quite get it defensively, and I know it's a high-scoring league, but you played in the championship. So for those who don't know, they scored. There was a couple of 2-point games. I think LeBron missed a shot to tie one. But anyways, this is the Spurs with Duncan, and then you and Drew, and you had Ilgauskas. These guys are getting too many easy baskets. Does that what is it? And you're talking about Mike Brown evolving, but you still got to play some defense to get wins. How's your feeling on that?
I mean, listen, I was saying it in real time during the broadcast. Your help responsibilities, you got to think outside of the box when you're playing a team that's shooting lights out, 20-plus made three-pointers. You have to do something different. You got to get physical. You got to get under their skin. Who's that guy? Like a Mo Wagner, Mark Madsen, somebody that can get under. Yeah, Drew Gooden. Just get under a guy's skin. Get him out of the game. I think you could have done that with Sabonis. I think you could have done that with De'Aaron Fox. But it was the others that were killing you. It was the Terrence Davis. It was the Keegan Murray. It was the Malik Monk that actually hurt you tonight.
No, you're absolutely right. I think we need an RA. Back in college, it was your resident assistant.
I
would say
don't
tonight.
Snitch.
No. Tonight, I think we need a resident agitator. To your point, Drew, someone to make sure that don't let guys get too comfortable. Not in my house, but guys. Go ahead,
Wes. I know too much about RAs. I lived on the first floor in Kansas City.
Woo, boy. Hey, Drew. After the day you've had today, I'm going to give you a double thumb up.
When I was in college, Coach, I used to go take care of the RAs first day of each semester. Make sure everybody's cool.
That is absolutely correct, Chris.
Wes, you said Drew had a tough day. What happened today?
Kansas lost, man. Come on, man. I'm going to say it for you. Kansas lost. We'll be looking for North Carolina NIT.
We'll see y'all at Orlando.
Somebody's still alive.
Oh,
Did they even make the NIT?
Oh, man.
Hey, Jimmy, I don't think Brandon Miller is not going to score any points tonight. I'll just leave it there.
I was down there in Birmingham. They were pretty athletic. And then Jarris Walker's come. Jarris Walker from Houston, he's like Larry Johnson. We'll talk soon about that.
Hey, Wizards fans, keep this petty going online. Trust me, they're going to be doing this all night long. I got to let Chris and Drew go. Megan McPhee, thank you for joining us here on Postgame Live. Coming to you straight up. It's not every night you're going to face off against a team that knocks down 22 threes on the opposite side. Obviously, the Wizards would find that difficult to overcome. What say you about what you saw tonight?
I mean, I think Chris and Drew and Jimmy have all been correct in what happened tonight. And it kind of reminds me, unfortunately, of last night. It was just a snowball effect. When one thing started happening, then it's another thing. But like Drew said, if you're going to pack the paint, then you're going to leave open shooters. So how are you going to adjust to what they're doing? And at half, you get the three-point shooting, you want to make an adjustment, you want to not allow them to go downhill, but then you've kind of got to equate for the fact that if they start going downhill and they get that paint three, you've got to have your rotation there. And I thought the rotation at some points was, quite frankly, non-existent. And then at other points it was, a half a step late or a full step late. And I get it, you're on a back-to-back, but at the end of the day, these are the dog days of the NBA, and the other 29 teams are going through the exact same thing, so you cannot use fatigue as an excuse. You can't use a back-to-back as an excuse. So like Drew said, who's going to be the agitator? Who's going to be the guy that says, you know what, things aren't going for us right now, but I'm not going to allow them to just get what they want. At a certain point, maybe you got to put a guy on his butt.
Fair indeed. I mean, Coach, when you see a team that has the hot hand like you saw Sacramento having tonight, do you rush them off the line? Do you close and collapse as soon as they get an open shot? How do you work that? Because as Chris and Drew both said, those corner threes were also available tonight. What defensive adjustments should we make?
Well, I don't like letting guys shoot threes early because when they get hot, and Drew made a good point. Mike Brown, who is a tremendous defensive coach, known for that in Cleveland, adjusts, goes to work with Steve Kerr, and the Warriors played better defense than people think in the finals. Yes, Curry's firing threes and Klay Thompson, they play very good defense. Mike Brown is incorporating that, player relationships evolving to Sabonis, to De'Aaron Fox. You guys got to play some defense, but here's how we're going to score a lot of points. You got to get them off the three-point line early. Those threes that's when analytics wins. That's when analytics kicks my butt from the old I'm emotional, fiery. No, they're right. But when they get going early, I don't want them getting going early. They had 10 threes in the first half. All right, they make some adjustments. We'll play. 10 threes was too many in the first half. That's okay, as long as we learn our lesson. The Magic, they don't shoot threes like that, okay? Nope. They got Wagner, Bancaro's more inside guy, Markelle Fultz not a great shooter, going down the line. So let's just go back to our defensive principles, get them off the three, but we really need KP back. But if not, Xavier Cooks is interesting. They talked about him winning down in Australia. He's had a lot of good players. Delladova's out there, Patty Mills, we can go down the list, Luke Long, there's a million of them. Well, he won the league down there. He's coming here. He's a defensive. I can see he's a little long and rangy, you know. You can tell it's only his first game, but Xavier Cooks has been brought in. He's got 11 games to give us energy and help us on the defensive end to be that agitator.
Indeed. Let's get it going, Coach. We've got to see what we got here on the backstretch of this season. Megan, don't move, because Coach and I will, of course, be here along with you. On the other side, we're going to hear from head coach Wes Hall Jr., get his thoughts on tonight, and we're going to take a closer look at the lower roster rotation. A lot of guys got some quality minutes in this game, including a few familiar faces here at the DMV. We'll have that all breaking down for you in post-game live return.